It is Tuesday. Welcome back. I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. This is podcast number 15 here on the 12th of April, 2022. We have a lot to go over just like we do in every single one of our podcasts, and we are going to kick it off with our most popular subject of all time here on Round 2 Wrestling, and that is the rumors in the world of professional wrestling. Tammy Sonny Sytch is suspected of a DUI in a fatal car crash that led to the death of a 75-year-old man. Update. As of this broadcast, Miss Sytch is not under arrest or being questioned at all for this particular incident. I have a feeling that will change, but this is almost a week later and still nothing has happened. We will keep you updated on Round 2 Wrestling as to Mrs. Sonny's situation. As reported by Sean Ross Sapp, 27-year-old NXT Tag Champion Nash Carter has been released from WWE following allegations of domestic abuse to Impact wrestler Kimber Lee. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio stated a really weird situation. That is Nash Carter, was fired for a picture of him depicting Adolf Hitler, not the other allegations, i.e. the domestic abuse against Kimber Lee. According to Fightful Select, NJPW has started securing visas for foreign talent for the first time since the pandemic of 2022. This is great news for New Japan. It means not only will wrestlers be able to get out of Japan and go work for other promotions, but other wrestlers from other countries, i.e. Canada, the United States, and Mexico, will once again be able to enter Japan and start working for NOAH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and others. This is great news. Former WWE 24/7 champion and Impact wrestler Maria Kanellis Impact contract expiring. Many are speculating that Ring of Honor is next, but like we say on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. All right, that concludes the rumors going on this past week. Not a whole lot was being spoken about in hushed circles, but that changes from week to week. Some weeks it's very busy in the rumor mill, other weeks it's not. But there is always time for news, and that is the next subject here on Round 2 Wrestling. Dave Meltzer reports Los Parks, a wrestling trio from MLW, have been fired following a TV taping brawl. The three Parks got too physical with Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu. Shinjiro Otani, conscious but cannot move his limbs following an injury on a 0-1 event. This particular accident happened during the main event when Otani was challenging the 0-1 champion Takashi Sugiura. Not a lot has changed for this particular wrestler in the last week. It does look like this man is now paralyzed from the neck down. However, the good news is he is conscious, he is breathing, and he is very fully aware of his situations. We here at Round 2 Wrestling hope the best for him and his family going forward. WWE announced Friday the NXT tag titles have been vacated due to Nash Carter being released from the company. New champions will be crowned today, April 12th. Who those new champions are, I do not know at the time of this broadcast. That information has not been given to me. Wrestling free agent Chris Dickinson signs with New Japan Pro Wrestling. No contract length was announced. Savannah Evans signed a multi-year deal to stay with Impact Wrestling. This is great news for Impact Wrestling, and more specifically the Knockouts division of Impact Wrestling. This particular promotion has a good women's division, and it continues to grow that women's division, especially with good signees like this one in Savannah Evans. All right, moving on to a new fan favorite here at Round 2 Wrestling. A Did You Know segment is up next. Did You Know is going to be little bits of information from across the wrestling world and across the wrestling spectrum. Little bits and facts of information that you may or may not know, or maybe just needed a little bit of clarification on. I have that for you right now. Did you know Joe Gold, the founder of Gold's Gym, was a professional wrestler under his own name? He only had a total of 29 matches in 1952 before really sinking his teeth into his gym business and taking off from there. Did you know that the voice of WCCW, Bill Mercer, also did play-by-play for the Texas Rangers in Major League Baseball and the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL? Did you know that Low-Ki was the first Ring of Honor World Champion? Did you know in 2000, WCW had a total of 26, I'm not making this up, world title changes. WWF and ECW both had 5 each the same year. Concluding, did you know former WWF oddity Giant Silva played on the 1988 Brazilian Olympic basketball team? All right, with the conclusion of Did You Know and the facts of professional wrestling you may or may not know, that brings us to the halfway point of Round 2 Wrestling. We still have a little bit to go over, and we will spit that at you right now, kicking the second half off with our results portion of Round 2 Wrestling. Not a lot of title matches this past week, but there were some, and we have those for you right now. Toxic Attraction defeated Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai to win the NXT Women Tag Team titles this past week. FTR defeated the Young Bucks to retain the AAA Mexico and Ring of Honor tag titles in what was called the best tag team match of the week. MLW middleweight champion Myron Reed defeated TJP at MLW Fusion to retain his title. NXT UK champion Ilya Dragunov defeated Roderick Strong to retain his title this past week. Boosie, aka Alley Catch and Effie, defeated the Briscoes to win the GCW Tag Team titles. If you are wondering, why did you announce the Briscoes winning the GCW Tag Team titles last week, and now you're announcing that they lost them a week later? That's because it actually happened. That's right, the Briscoes only held on to the GCW Tag Team titles for a total of 9 days before dropping them to Boosie this past weekend. All right, that concludes our results portion of Round 2 Wrestling. We will move on to the match of the week. The match of the week took place back in April of 1999, specifically April 11th of 1999. This took place in Tacoma, Washington, and the pay-per-view was WCW Spring Stampede. The match, a Four Corners heavyweight title match for the WCW Heavyweight Championship of the World. DDP versus Sting versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus the then champion Ric Flair. Randy Savage would be the guest referee in what was a loaded main event. And by loaded, I mean top to bottom, filled with guys that were known all over the world at this point in time. A match with action that never slowed. In-ring and out-of-ring brawling made for an entertaining match. Hogan exited the match with a knee injury, opening the door for Sting, DDP, and Flair. This injury is of great debate because nobody knows if it was legitimate or if this was simply a way for Hogan to get out and nurse a real injury that he had walking into this match. Sting had a strong showing many times, looking like he would pick up the win over his opponents, Diamond Dallas Page and Ric Flair. Sting got many near falls every time DDP and Flair were able to kick out. A missed chop by the champion gave Diamond Dallas Page a window of opportunity to use his famed diamond cutter, and he did so, defeating Flair to win his first WCW heavyweight title. We have a ranking system here for our match of the week here on Round 2 Wrestling. It is a bell system. This particular match of the week gets a 4 out of 5 bells. WCW by 1999 had a terrible habit of under-delivering their matches and pay-per-views in particular. This was one of the rare ones where it actually lived up to the hype. It may have been DDP winning the WCW title. It may have been the fact that WCW actually followed through with a storyline and didn't shortchange their fan base. However, it wasn't too much longer after this that WCW would start to fail, and the real problems that they kept hidden behind the scenes would start to surface. All right, we are going to conclude Round 2 Wrestling how we always do, and that is with our Michigan Highlight. Our Michigan Highlight takes a wrestler or a promotion, either based or born in the state of Michigan, and we place them on a pedestal for you to enjoy just for a little bit. Our Michigan Highlight this week is Allison Kay, born November 5th, 1987 in Detroit, Michigan. Allison began training after being a lifelong fan and began training July 2008 at Blue Collar Wrestling Alliance in Detroit. Debuting December 28th of the same year, she would debut for AIW in April 2010, then appearing for Women's Superstars Uncensored in January 2011. 1 year later, in 2012, she would debut for Shine Wrestling, and at Shine 53 in 2018, Key would win the Shine Championship after defeating Mercedes Martinez in a tournament final. In April 2016, Key would join TNA Impact, and at Slammiversary 2016, Kay, aka Sienna, would defeat TNA Knockouts champion Jade and challenger Gail Kim to win the Knockouts championship. At Slammiversary 2017, Sienna would defeat Rosemary to unify the Impact Knockouts championship and the GFW Women's Championship. She would then debut for NWA in 2019 and would win the NWA Women's title in the Crockett Cup Finals. In August of 2021, Kay rejoined NWA and later in the same year would team with Marty Bell to win the NWA Tag Team Women's titles in a tournament final that she still holds at the time of this broadcast. All right, I am SlimmDa KID. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to my podcast. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for another new episode of Round 2 Wrestling, where I will bring you more news, more results, and more rumors from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.